Michael Chavello ringside with the hammer, Mark Castanini, and listen to the applause for this young man, Ben the Pixie Burton, as he makes his way to centre ring here at the RNA Showgrounds in Brisbane for the first semi-final. And he'll go up against Kurt Finlayson tonight in the quest for $10,000 cash. The Pixie Ben Burton, who of course defeated Travis Davis by decision in the first quarterfinal of the night, returns to centre ring to take on Kurt Finlayson. It is an imposing sight indeed to see Joe Hilton leading his young charge. The killer Kurt Finlayson, the World Championship gold medalist, to centre ring. Kurt Finlayson defeating Thailand's Krongsak Lek by decision in the second quarterfinal earlier on here tonight. And now the first semi pits Finlayson against Burton. Well, here we go in the first of 3 rounds, our first semi-final, Finlayson versus Burton, and we welcome to the commentary position, pound for pound, Australia's all-time greatest, the powerhouse, Ian Jacobs. How are you, Ian?
Very good tonight, mate, and very, very excited.
It is awesome to have you in the house here at the RNA Showgrounds, a capacity crowd on hand, and this is our first semi-final. One of these two men will face the winner of Soren Mongkongton and Supa Chai. Joining me also, of course, the Hammer. Hammer, how do you see this one going?
Well, I'll tell you what, Michael, Finlayson is really switched on here tonight. Pixie's going to have to go with him. Kurt is very quick starter.
Both boys having very hard fights to start off with.
Nice catch and sweep executed there by Finlayson. Finlayson not one of the favourites, not tipped by a lot of people, but as the Hammer said earlier, could be a real dark horse here tonight. We've already seen one of the early favourites go, Bruce the Preacher McPhee, who seemed to fall asleep after the first round of his fight against Supa Chai. So McPhee is out of the running. One of the favourites down already, and still Soren Mongkongton and Ben Pixie Burton favourites in opposite sides of the draw, and they all remained in the running.
I'll tell you what, Michael, if there's a fight that's going to go to a draw, this one could well be the one.
Definitely looking that way so far.
After 3 rounds, Ian, if the judges can't separate the fighters, they do have that extension round.
Digging body shot from Ben Pixie Burton. Finlayson ties him up. Knee to the rib cage, knee to the top of the thigh there from Finlayson. Both men keeping nice and busy, and they are mirroring each other's techniques at the moment. The Murph separates both men. The headhunter. Front kick didn't find the target. Right hand to the side of the head did from Ben Burton. Then his front kick, a real gut muncher. Steps up, locks on the grapple. Now around the waist goes Pixie. Trying to execute the dump on Finlayson. Can't pull it off. And they tango back against the ropes, and Murphy separates both men. How do you see it so far, Ian Jacobs?
Very, very high concentration from both guys, both watching, both making no mistakes, very strong. And draw so fast.
Can he get the sweep off? He's got the catch on here. Finlayson tries to sweep the supporting leg, can't get it off, however. And a beautiful follow-up from Finlayson to the right rib cage of Ben Pixie Burton. I like what I'm seeing so far from Kurt Finlayson, Hammer.
Well, Kurt's looking very switched on. He's landing a continual barrage of knees and strikes on the inside. Pixie at range is nice and clean. There's a nice outside thumping knee from Pixie. He realises he has to go with Kurt. Both fighters have to keep the work rate up, because if it does go to the decision, well, then it's going to come down to how the judges separate it, and that is pure on work rate.
Well, we have seen no stoppages here tonight. All the fights have gone the distance so far. There have been no knockouts. Will we get our first one in this fight, the first semi-final, Finlayson and Pixie Burton? Burton's head being turned by a short right hand from Finlayson. Finlayson looking the good so far here in the first round, although Pixie's got him on the back foot at the moment. Now Finlayson comes forward and latches one hand around the back of the neck, snakes the other in there, and they start to work the knees against the ropes.
Kurt's strength is...
End of the first round of action. Hammer, how did you see it as we go to the towels?
I'll tell you what, that was a real close one. You'd almost give that one a bit of a draw and hope that it's going to pan out in the latter rounds. If I have to go one way or the other, Ian, I'm thinking I'm going to lean the way of Kurt Finlayson, the boy in the red.
Definitely, with the Thai ruling, power and dominance takes the ruling, gets the score, and I've got Kurt just ahead, 9-10.
Well, Ian, what have you been up to, mate? Haven't been active in the ring. What have you been doing outside of the ring? Or can't you tell me?
Looking at movies, getting very heavily involved in rapid response security, monitored security company, going partnerships with the guy there. Also just getting heavily involved in personal training.
Well, I wish you all the best with that, mate. But ringside, just having a look at the replay now, we see the Pixie going to work. But Finlayson, just as you said, Ian, with that show of strength, dumping Pixie down to the canvas. Once again, Finlayson stalking forward. He is a very powerful fighter. Gets in on the inside, works constantly, and he's always in your face. Kurt Finlayson coming off that gold medal victory in Thailand merely a few weeks ago. His confidence is riding on a high. And certainly Ben Burton, also world-class performer. This is world-class Thai boxing we're seeing in centre ring right now.
We're about to rumble in the second round. There is a cut over the right eye of Ben Pixie Burton. He has been cut by one of those knees. And we are seeing a dark horse emerging, folks, a real thoroughbred in Kurt Finlayson. He's taking it right up to Ben Pixie Burton. Well, we hope you're enjoying this fight as much as we are, wherever you're watching around the country. A big hello to all the boys and girls down at Area 61. The brand new night spot opened up down in Melbourne, and make sure you check out the website, www.area61.com.au.
That's a big club down there in Fitzroy Street, St Kilda, Melbourne's tourist capital. Area 61, pumping place to be. I know you're there, Michael. Seen you there.
Can you get food there, Hammer? They all tied up in centre ring like a pretzel. There you go, all comes back to it, Hammer. Kurt Finlayson's got him locked up behind the back of the neck again, and Finlayson picking up where he left off in the first round. Pixie Burton looking over towards his corner, and will that cut on his right eyebrow cause some problems for the Pigs?
Well, Ian, strategies from these two fighters, what should they both be doing? Let's have a look at
Kurt needs to walk up and keep strong and wear Pixie out. Pixie needs to hit and move and stay on the outside. Keep away from Kurt's strength. As you can see, he's keeping up with the strength for the early part of the round, of the first round, but towards the end, Kurt's strength and pure determination is just walking through Pixie's technique and strategies.
I tell you what, Kurt Finlayson built like an absolute brick hit house. He's a muscular young man, and he's powering through Ben Burton at the moment. Burton's got to try and do what Soren Monkongtong did in his last fight, and that is to maybe pick apart Kurt Finlayson's brute power with a little bit of pinpoint technique. At the moment, though, Finlayson moving in quite well on him. Pixie trying to go to the outside thighs. Big sweeping kick misses the mark there from Finlayson.
Of course, took out Brian Murphy, Michael. Murph showing some of his footwork of old to get out of the way there.
The Murph. A veteran of 3,500 fights, Brian Murphy. Hammer, somewhere around there is what I'm told.
Pixie's coming back strong now.
Pixie moving in. Oh, nice knee to the rib cage. Just spun Finlayson around. Burton ties him up. Nice knee to the left side of the ribs, just tucking it under the armpit. Finlayson spins him around, leaning him back against the ropes. Corking knees to the thighs now from both men, and the Murph moves in and separates them, Hammer.
Well, Ian, those corking knees to the thighs, a lot of people will be at home watching this and think there's not a lot in them, but I can tell you, when they see what it felt, someone drives a knee into your thigh, you certainly feel it.
Yep, certainly do, mate, especially when it's repetitiously done.
Straight left hand there from Kurt Finlayson, then came through the solid right. This is a real crackerjack in centre ring, folks. Do not blink, do not go to the toilet, do not make a cup of tea, because anything can happen in this one. There are no elbows in it, of course, but there is an absolute carnage full of knees as referee Brian Murphy separates them over in the red corner. Joey Hilton shouting all sorts of instructions to his young charge, Kurt Finlayson, who earlier this year won a gold medal over in Thailand at the World WMC Championships. Inside thigh kick, a real slapper from Finlayson, gets tagged on the noggin, and into the second round. We go to the towels, Hammer.
I'll tell you what, Ian, that one was a real close round. You could almost again give it a draw or go the way maybe of the Pixie. So we're almost getting all tied up here.
Again, I'd say either a draw or I'd go Pixie's way. This time he threw a little bit more technique, and he actually dominated with strength for the most part of the round.
A big clap of the hands from the Murph, and we are ready to rumble in the third and final round. Both men touch gloves, and we're underway. First semi-final, Ben Pixie Burton and Kurt Finlayson. It has been good, solid showing from Finlayson so far. And will the Pigs turn it on here in the third stanza? Why do they call him Pixie, Hammer?
I think it's something pertaining to his look, but I'm no one to talk about anyone's looks.
I wonder if Pixie has ever fought Humpty. That'd be a fairy tale fight. Pixie versus Humpty. Only here in Queensland. Powerhouse, Hammer.
As you can see, Pixie's bringing it home again, as he usually does. He absorbs everything for the first couple of rounds like a sponge. He's starting to come home strong. He's getting his distancing now. He's hitting and moving. He wants to stay outside and not keep inside there. Now it's Kurt's part of the fight here with his strength.
Comments from the former three-time world champion, the powerhouse Ian Jacobs, ringside with the hammer Mark Castanini and myself, Michael Chavello. Brian Murphy separates both men over against the ropes. And Pixie really has turned up the mercury here in the third round. High left round kick caught on the gloves there by Finlayson. Inside thigh kick from Finlayson.
Finlayson really needs to step it up now.
He needs to walk up,
absorbing too much.
He's got to come forward like he is now.
Nice clipping right hand on the jaw there from Finlayson, and Pixie lands a cracker to the ribs off the knee. Bending Finlayson down, trying to maybe tuck the knee up under the jaw. He won't get it up high enough though, because Finlayson's got him tucked in nice and tight. All tied up, slithered and snaked in centre ring. Brian Murphy separates both men, and we're halfway through. Another half to go. High left round kick caught on the forearms by Finlayson. Just backs Pixie back into the blue corner.
Well, Finlayson, Joe Hilton calling for Finlayson to let his right hand go in the last round. He hasn't nearly done enough of that. He wants to set a lot more off that big right.
Catch and sweep, trying there for Finlayson, won't get it off. Pixie's back to his feet again, goes for a negating knee, then works one up to the rib cage. Referee will separate both men again. It has been a rugged, torrid third round, Ian Jacobs.
I tell you what, the amazing thing about this fight, they're throwing major techniques, and they're not actually getting through with a lot of them. They're actually covering, defending against counters, counters. An amazing fight. This could be a draw, I think.
Well, the call there from the powerhouse Ian Jacobs, maybe this one going to go down to the judges and prove a score as a draw, as Finlayson ties up Pixie around the waist. Two very weather-beaten men in centre ring. This fight has taken their toll, and that cut has really opened up. Oh, it's maybe a different cut, Hammer, it is. A different cut now, a second cut from an accidental headbutt.
Head clash is what they're calling it.
Pixie's not happy.
Looks pretty deep.
They need to pack it up with Vaseline. But even if we go to the scorecards...
Otherwise, we'd have to go.
How does the ruling work on that anyway with the splits, guys?
And it'd have to go to the scorecards, but even if Pixie does win it, he might not be able to continue due to that cut. We're going to see out the final round only in Queensland, folks. Here we go. Last 30 seconds now. And look at Ben Pixie Burton. He's turning it on. Blood and all streaming down his forehead, and the Pixie doesn't care. Davies, Finlayson now wading through. Trying to slip an elbow in close, all tied up, nowhere to go. Kurt Finlayson storming forward. Pixie affords a look to his corner, blood smeared over the bridge of his nose. Thought about a balk right hand, Pixie didn't quite get it off. Outside thigh kick and a slip in the centre of the ring for Pixie Ben Burton. Finlayson, look at the pressure. Punch. And there it is, the end of the third and final round, Hammer.
Well, I tell you what an absolute war that one was. And we just have to wait for the score.
Could we see an upset, fellas? Could we see Kurt Finlayson in the final of the Super 8, Ian Jacobs?
I think you're going to see Kurt in the final, mate. He come home strong there. If it wasn't just for that last part of the fight, final punch, I'd give it to Kurt.
I'll tell you what, even if Pixie does win, Kurt would probably have to go through by default because of the fact that that cut is probably not going to be stemmed. So then Kurt may have to go through. So either way, I think we'll see Kurt Finlayson transfer. But nevertheless, a great effort from him. Pixie really pushed towards the end there. It's going to go down to the judges. The only thing that we probably won't see happen is a draw. But let's just wait for the judges' scorecards to come in as we have a look at the replay. Nice probing front kick and round kick there from Burton.
You see a lot of Pixie's techniques. He's throwing a lot of techniques there, but Kurt's blocked a lot of those big kicks, and he's been scoring with those punches and knees and strength.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the judges' scorecard yet again. This is semi-final number one. One man transfers through to the final. Your winner, Ben Pixie Burton.
Well, there you go. Here in the commentary box, we thought maybe it went the other way to Kurt Finlayson, but the crowd certainly seemed to agree.
It was always going to be close, Michael. The work now has to be done on the cut on Burton. They've got to take him backstage, and I tell you what, I reckon if he does transfer through, what's the chances, Ian, of the opponent nailing a jab on that cut every round?
Yeah, I think so, mate. I think they're going to take full advantage of that cut as well.
Mark B's there with Ben Burton, and we say thank you very much to the powerhouse Ian Jacobs for joining us. Great to see you again,
Thanks,
champ.
gentlemen. Thanks, Boxtel.